Hi, this is Sherry. I am the Lazy Chef, and today we're going to be making a very quick semi-homemade version of General Tso's chicken, and my favorite Chinese food of all time. So what I use to make it, and you can choose to do it different ways, I use the Perdue Simply Smart lightly breaded chicken chunks. They're breaded, but you bake them so they're not as fatty as frying. I use actually it looks like I got two different sauces here. This is called the Asian Gourmet General Tso's sauce, and then this new one I thought I was buying the same thing, but I didn't. This is the Iron Chef. So you should be able to find some version in the Asian foods aisle in your store. Then the rice is going to be the minute ready to serve in the jasmine rice variety. And though when you buy General Tso's chicken at a restaurant, you don't get vegetables with it, which is one thing I've always hated. So I'm going to be putting peppers and onions in mine. That's purely optional. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be baking this, sauteing peppers and onions, and then at the end we'll toss it all together and serve it over rice. Okay, so we're in process here. My lovely assistant has put the chicken pieces onto a broiling pan. I'm going to do it in the toaster oven, but it's usually done in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some ham spray. And I'm just going to give it a little shot so that it'll be nice and crispy and brown. Because that's the best way for General Tso's chicken, is to have it nice and crispy. Alright, so I'm going to just set that aside for a minute. I've got peppers and onions ready to go into a little bit of olive oil in a skillet, just so we can have a little bit of peppers and onions with our General Tso's chicken. Now what I'm eventually going to do is I'm going to have a big bowl, and I'm going to be tossing, once the veggies are cooked and the chicken is cooked, I'm going to be tossing it all together with the sauce. And it's actually really, really easy. The chicken goes in at 425 for 12 minutes. However, I usually find that it takes a little longer than that if you want it really nice and crisp, which I do. I'm going to take my sauce and heat it up so that when everything else is cooked, I don't have to worry about this being cold. Now, it doesn't take a lot. You're thinking you're making all this chicken and vegetables, but really, the stuff is pretty intense. So it doesn't really take a lot. Now, it's all to your personal taste, but for me, when I made it the first time with this Asian Gourmet General Tso's, it was a little too far on the acid, the vinegary soy for me. So what I found was best was to put some brown sugar in. And that brought it right to exactly to the way I'm used to having General Tso's chicken when I go out. So I'm just doing like maybe 2 or 3 teaspoons. And then I'm going to stick that in the microwave on low heat and let it just warm up and simmer a little bit. And of course, while it's warming up, the brown sugar will dissolve fully in the sauce. I do this on a medium heat in the microwave, not on high, because it's a sugar-based sauce. It's very thick, and it will burn, or maybe even pop the lid off of whatever you use. So I would go medium heat only. If you wanted to punch up the heat of the General Tso's sauce, it has some heat in it, but it's not tremendously hot and spicy. But if you wanted to boost that up, you could probably throw some red pepper flake in your, either in your sauce that's heating or in your peppers and onions. So we're going to take a break until the peppers and the chicken and the sauce are all done, and we'll be back to assemble at the end. Okay, our peppers and onions are almost done. They're very nicely caramelized. If you've never used this, and most people haven't, the way you use it is it's little pods, and they only have to be in the microwave 1 minute. They're super, super fast. I find that each one is about a serving and a half for me. Obviously would not be cost effective for a large family, but it's great for a single or a couple. So you just have to peel the lid back before you put them in the microwave, otherwise you will have an explosion. So that's on for 1 minute. I suggest that when you're doing your chicken, you either shake or flip. Some of the pieces are really small. It's hard to go in there and individually flip them all. But sometimes I just go in and give the pan a shake, and that way some of them will flip. Okay, so we've got our sauce nice and hot now. I'm just going to give it another stir to make sure that the brown sugar is all nicely incorporated. Smells good. Let me just taste to make sure. Yeah, for me it could actually be just a tad sweeter, but it's pretty good. When you're taking these rice pods out of the microwave, you got to be super careful. Either use a some sort of a grabber or use a pot holder. So I usually get them like that. They're slippery little devils, so just make sure you use something that you can get a good grip on. Okay, so now we're finishing up. We got the chicken bits out of the oven, all nice and crispy and hot. We're going to pour some sauce over there. And now we're just going to make sure we have these coated. So everybody gets a little bit of sauce. Okay. And then I'm going to toss my peppers and onions in there. I happen to like mine nicely caramelized, so they may look burned to some people, but they're not to me. Okay. Toss that all up. Put a little scallion in there. There we go. So to plate, what I'm going to do, take this rice, okay, oops, It's not going to hold together. Oh well. Grab a little chicken and some peppers. I wish you had smell-o-vision, because it smells pretty good, doesn't it? Smells really good. Okay. So that is quick General Tso's chicken, the lazy chef's way.